My friends, today I'm gonna talk about why I love the game Zenless Zone Zero, why I have been having so much fun, and I'm actually gonna start up with this screenshot right here that I saved in my gallery. The reason I have this is because there is a sentence Mr. Jobert says here which was a very good description and representation of why I think Zenless Zone Zero is a fun and good game for me. And if we read the very last sentence, it says, the cozy and familiar vibe this place has is quite enjoyable. And that would be the TLDR. Now, if you want to hear a bit more in details, then stick with me throughout the entirety of the video. Okay, my friends, I will talk about the world today. It's not too big, not too small, a limited area. I believe the English word is sandbox, and I personally love it. Now, I would say that the improvement should be to have more areas in the future, which they kind of do already. And if I remember well, they did announce that there will be more new areas in future updates, I think. So we wait and see this variety. It is definitely giving the strong feeling of neighborhood. The game just started, it is 1.0, so it is a good starting point to feel comfortable and have a sense of familiarity, enjoyment, relatability, and realism. I would say this is not the only vibe Zenless Zone Zero is trying to accomplish, and I said this in my previous video where I strongly believe they are aiming for the nostalgic feeling of the era of 80s and 90s, or both for sure. And one good example of it is that we own a shop, Random Play, that sells and rents video cassettes, which are movies. This was 100% something that happened in my childhood. I was like 6 or 7 when I remember my parents going to the nearest Blockbuster to rent the current popular movie at the time. So these memories are deeply implemented in my brain and represent a good part of my childhood. So seeing the shop that I own as the MC does activate that nostalgic feeling, and if it is proven to be the developer's intention, then I can say for me, they are doing a very good job with it, because it all hits the spot very strongly. And here are some examples of how they also make the world relatable and realistic, enjoying and familiar. For example, they have different times of the day, which is very interesting. So morning, afternoon, evening and midnight. It is a very interesting concept that they have in this game, and I do very much enjoy this. Now, the only improvement I wish to see is more weather diversity, but let me give them the benefit of the doubt that it is summer, so seeing just sun, it makes sense. Hopefully, as seasons change, we will get to see, for example, in winter we see snow on the ground, and while we are in-game it can snow all the time, or every real-time 3 minutes it can snow for 3 minutes. I think that would be very, very interesting to see. Speaking of weather, I hope to also see holiday scenery. So when it is Christmas, the streets are decorated with lights. For Halloween, we get spooky decorations. That would all be better helping immersion for sure. Now, the world also has a decent amount of interactions, but I do hope to see more for sure. So you do have NPC interaction where you just see the speech bubble. And then you do have some of these where you see like this dolly, you can click and actually interact and maybe even do some sort of mission. I think I might have a screenshot I will show you right now. I had a very interesting one with Lupin about parkour and jumping on the rooftops. Hopefully this is a hidden egg that there will be a vent to do such a parkour things on the rooftop and collect maybe some Denny's. And finally, you do have object interactions. Now the obvious ones are all the shops, like the restaurant, you get your noodles, the coffee for cafe. But you also do have something like this, the trash can. Now, I have a theory about this. It is basically using references from their other games, so that if your first game is Zenless Zone Zero, it should lead you to try out other games from Hoyoverse. So you see this trash can, you are in the community, you share a screenshot and say, wow, trash can, we can talk to it. And then people will say, oh, this is just a reference from Honkai Star Rail, which also has the trash can Sega, and it's probably even better there. And then you were gonna be like, oh, really? I didn't know. So if Zenless is good, I want to try Honkai Star Rail. And again, if this is not the attention of the developers, well, then I gave you a good idea. You should keep doing this and having mini references in all your present, future, and past games, so that it kind of can lead players to try out all of your other games. I think that is very smart. Speaking about the NPC, the only ones I have an issue with is the ghost ones, and it refers to the NPC that just walk, like this one. And there is absolutely no interaction, and the reason I call them ghosts is they walk right through you. I need this improved to at least try to walk around us, and if we insist to bump into them, a simple interaction would be nice, like, hey, why are you pushing me? This will make it more realistic, which the game already does a very well job. Another thing I realized is no cars in this street, but then I saw that this street is actually one-way road. You see right here, we're looking at it right now. And it seems like the only way in is blocked temporarily. Now, I don't think there is a canonical reason for it. Some argue because of the reconstruction of the metro station or a hollow nearby, but I think it is simply because the new area will unlock with new patch, maybe. Anyways, the problem was cars, but when you stand here, you saw cars moving, a bus stop, and yes, you even saw a bus driving by. So I have hope new areas will have this more realistic approach. Speaking of cars, the traversing in this world is just walking, no jumping or climbing, and I think that is not good at all. Even though I understand this area is small and limited, I still don't think that is a good excuse to not allow climbing or jumping, as is a very bad one. So improvements on more traversing. Also in my room I have a bike and skateboard. Here's a screenshot of it. So allow us to travel with things we own for traveling. Also in the streets you can see sometimes, like, you see bicycles. So that would be nice if we can interact with all those too. Now we also have a car, and I also would like if we can drive the car to the location, but I would recommend to have it as an option, because forcing someone is never good. But the players who would love to drive, allow it, or at least have an animated cutscene with skip shot option, of course. Because if I have animated cutscene for the cook making my noodles, I would also like to see my car drive from point A to point B. Again, either animated cutscene or we actually control the car and we drive it, follow the arrows and, go to the directions where we want to. Finally, I want to talk about my favorite place in the neighborhood for 6th Street, and definitely the best place, or the winner, is my neighborhood across the street from my store, which is Howl. I love Howl. I love that there is a little bit of interaction, like the scratch ticket. Reminds me of the days where, again, when I was a child, my parents would once a month try their luck. I also love that there is the interactable newspaper here. So this is the kind of main page, and then bottom right corner you can click this and you see there is a little bit of text, but you can click and read the whole thing. This is very good for people who enjoy the lore. Now I wish that there were improvements here, specifically a bit more options to interact with the dog Howl. Maybe like buy a treat, or have like a mini game mode where I can walk Howl from like this point to, I don't know, the metro station, and then we get some like Denny's just because we kind of walk the dog. That would be very nice. Now my favorite feature of the world is in my house. I don't know about you guys, but obviously by default my home will be the best place, just like in real life. It's always a place for comfort zone. Now, first of all, I do have this shop selling these, nostalgic videos. So that always will make me happy, even though our main focus doesn't seem to be the store. It seems like we're more into the proxy hunting. Nevertheless, when we go upstairs, we have our room, and my favorite feature is over here, loudspeaker. Now, when you click this, look, you have all the background music that is available in the game. Wonderful, I like this. And currently, the best song for me is Turbo. Turbo is, by the way, the name of my neighborhood store, which is for the remodeling shop. It's right beside me, on the left or right side, depends which way you look. Now, to my disappointment, I thought while I'm in the room and I click song, when I leave loudspeaker, you can hear the song, but that doesn't happen. So please improve this. While I'm in my room, at least allow me to listen to the song that I've chosen on loudspeaker. Once I leave it, like if I come here, that's okay. Music can go away. That makes perfect sense. Or maybe like I can close the door or something. Speaking about the room, give me a bit more interaction. So let me sit here on the sofa or here. I do have like some milk and coffee. It would be nice if I can kind of like sit here and pretend to be watching TV while I read like the internet notifications, which is my favorite place to read. I've read them all, believe it or not, but that's another topic for another day. Now, I understand some of you might say, well, you are now asking for this game to become a copycat of Sims 3, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the Sims game. And people might say, well, then just go play that. Well, I mean, the devs themselves already allowed half of these simulation type interactions. They're all available in the game, so why not just improve on it and do it better? I don't think it is too much to ask. And this won't make the game more simulation type. I just think that what it will do is make more purpose to be in the game, keep my retention, and I can then enjoy some casual perspectives because I am a very, very casual player. I said this in one of my videos, and it says in my biography of YouTube when you check it out. Anyways, sitting in my room and listening to my favorite song, which is Turbo, is sometimes the only thing I want to do in this game. And sometimes I want to look at it, and sometimes I just want to have it in the background while I am doing something else. I was not expecting to talk so much about the worldview in Zenless Zone Zero, and I wish to ask you guys to tell me in the comment section below what is your favorite place in the world and why is it your favorite. You could also share me what do you think about the world of Zenless Zone Zero. I think this video is long enough, so next time I will talk about other stuff that the game has to offer. And if you want to hear about that, consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell to get a notification. If you really enjoyed the video, you can let me know by clicking the like button. So, my friends, remember to have fun when playing games.